In my previous lecture, I have talked about the measurement of position and momentum of a particle in quantum mechanics. We discussed about the continuous spectrum of eigenvalues and eigenstates of the operators x and p. The eigenvalue equation for the position operator x is given by x acting on the eigenstate gives us the eigenvalue times the eigenstate, where these position eigenstates form a complete set of orthonormal basis vectors. This is the completeness relation for the position eigenstates, identity operator, and the orthonormality condition of the position eigenstates was given in terms of delta function, Dirac delta function, right? So the inner product is equal to delta x minus x prime. Similarly, the eigenvalue equation for the momentum operator P is given by P acting on this eigenstate equal to P times, this is the eigenvalue, P times eigenstate, and the momentum eigenstates also form a complete set of orthonormal basis vectors. So the completeness relation for the momentum eigenbasis, sum over these outer products, identity operator, and the orthonormality condition of the momentum eigenstates is given by the inner product P prime is equal to delta P minus P prime. Now, in classical mechanics, for a particle moving in one dimension, both the position and momentum can be obtained from classical Hamilton's equation of motion. Classical Hamilton's equation of motion for a particle moving in one dimension. The time derivative of x, that is x dot, is equal to del h by del p, and the time derivative of p, that is p dot, is given by minus del h by del x, where h is actually the classical Hamiltonian This Hamilton's equation of motion can also be written in terms of classical Poisson brackets. So these two equations can also be written as x dot is equal to x comma h pb actually indicates that Poisson bracket, classical Poisson bracket, and this equation can be written as p dot is equal to p comma h p, that is the classical Poisson bracket between p and h. The solution of this classical Hamilton's equation of motion are, that is xt and pt. These are the solution of this Hamilton's equation. So these xt and pt, that is the solutions, gives us the time evolution of a point in phase space. So this gives us this, the solution actually gives us the time evolution of a point in phase space. If we know the initial point x0 p0 in the phase space, that is, this is the classical phase space, this is p axis and this is x axis, and if we know the initial point, that is x0 p0 in the phase space, then we can have the phase space trajectory for all time. So xt pt, this is the phase space point at a time t. So from the solutions of the Hamilton's equations, that is these xt and pt, we can have the phase space trajectory for all time for the particle. Hence, in classical mechanics, the position and momentum of the particle can be determined precisely at any given instant of time. But in quantum mechanics, there is a fundamental limitation on the accuracy to determine both position and momentum of the particle at a given instant of time. The limitation is imposed by Heisenberg's uncertainty relation, which is correlated to the fact that the position and momentum operators in quantum mechanics do not commute. That is, x times p is not equal to p times x. xp and px actually differs, and their difference, that is xp minus px, their difference is called the commutator between the operators x and p. So this difference is called the commutator between the operators x and p, and the commutator between this operator is written in this way, x comma p in this third bracket. This is called the commutator between the operators x and p. It is analogous to the situation of matrix multiplication, where the multiplication of two matrices AB, A multiplied by B, not necessarily equal to BA. Actually, Dirac in 1925 observed that various relations in quantum mechanics are obtained from classical mechanics simply by replacing classical Poisson brackets by the commutators as follows. So the classical Poisson brackets are replaced by the commutators between the operators divided by I h bar. So from classical mechanics to quantum mechanics, if you want to go, then we have to replace this classical Poisson brackets to the commutators divided by I h bar. This was the observation of Dirac. For example, the quantum version of these classical Hamilton's equations can be obtained as simply as we will change these classical Poisson brackets. So the quantum version of this equation will be obtained. So we will change the variable to by the operator. So this will be x operator dot, and on the right hand side this Poisson bracket we have to replace by the commutators x comma h divided by I h bar, where h bar is actually h by 2 pi and h is the Planck's constant. And the quantum version of this equation we can obtain simply by, so this quantum version of this equation we have to write this p hat dot, the time derivative of this momentum operator, it will be equal to, then this Poisson bracket, classical Poisson bracket, we have to change it by the commutator between the operator p and h divided by I h bar. These are actually the Heisenberg equation of motion in quantum mechanics. Later we will discuss about the Heisenberg picture in more detail. Similarly, according to Dirac's suggestion, the classical Poisson bracket relation x p, the classical Poisson bracket, this is 1, and this should be replaced in quantum mechanics as, so this should be replaced in quantum mechanics by, according to this prescription, this Poisson bracket should be replaced by the commutator between the operators divided by IH bar, and this should be equal to 1 in quantum mechanics. Hence, in quantum mechanics, the commutator between the position and momentum operator is given by, from this equation, the commutator between the operator x and p, this commutator is equal to IH bar. IH bar. In the conclusion of my last lecture, I have mentioned that often we choose a suitable basis or representation to solve a problem in quantum mechanics. When we solve a quantum mechanical problem in position representation, then we express the state vectors and operators in position basis. Keeping this as the motivation, we first calculate the matrix elements of the momentum operator P in the position basis. So, the momentum operator, we calculate the matrix elements of this momentum operator in position basis. We start with the commutation relation between the operator x and p. We already know that the commutator between these two operators is given by IH bar. That means x p minus p x is equal to I H bar. To obtain the matrix elements with respect to position basis, we do the following operation on both sides of this equation. We pre-multiply by bra x from here, from left, and multiply by ket x prime here, and we do the same thing on the right hand side, bra x and ket x prime. This bra x will now act linearly on both these terms xp and px. Hence we have two terms at the left hand side. At the left hand side is bra x, then xp, then x prime ket x prime, and minus bra x px, and then this ket x prime. And in the right hand side we have, this is a constant, right, IH bar, so I can bring it outside, and then bra x ket x prime, bra x ket x prime. First we calculate this part and this part of this equation. Now this is very easy to calculate because we know x acting on x prime gives us the eigenvalue x prime times the eigenstate, and when x, the operator x, act on the position eigenstate x, this gives us the eigenvalue x times the eigenstate, and the Hermitian conjugate of this equation is actually this, because if a linear operator A acting on a ket vector psi gives us a complex number or C number times another ket vector phi, then the Hermitian conjugate of this equation is given by bra psi A dagger is equal to bra phi alpha star, where alpha star is the complex conjugate of the C number alpha. So that is the case here. Now since the position operator is a Hermitian operator, then x dagger is actually equal to x, and x star, the eigenvalues are real numbers, so x star is equal to x. So this equation will then become bra x dagger is actually x, so this, and is equal to bra x because x star is actually x. So we have this and this result. Now if we substitute these results here in this equation, then we will have, so this equation becomes bra x operator is this, so this is x, this is just a real number here, x is not operator because we have used this result where this is just the eigenvalues, right? So this, and then there is this operator p, and x prime, get x prime minus this x acting on x prime is equal to x prime. This is now a real number, this is not operator now, so we will substitute this result here. So we have bra x, then p, and then x prime, the real number, and then the eigenstates. And on this right hand side, we already know that this is the orthonormality relation between these two position eigenkate. So this is given by the Dirac delta function h bar, and this is Dirac delta function delta x minus x prime. So then we have, so this is just a number, so we can bring it outside. This is x, then x p x prime minus, and this is also a number, so we can bring it outside, and then we have bra x here and operator p, and then x prime kate, and on the right hand side it's the same thing, delta x minus x prime. Now these are the common factors, so we can take it as common, x p and multiplied by x minus x prime is equal to, on the right hand side, h bar delta x minus x prime. So we have x p x prime is equal to I h bar delta x minus x prime divided by x minus x prime. So we finally obtain this result, and in our next lecture we will show that the derivative of the Dirac delta function, the derivative of Dirac delta function is equal to minus the delta function divided by x minus x prime. We will show in our next lecture. So if we use this result here in this equation, then this equation becomes minus, this becomes minus I h bar ddx of the delta function delta x minus x prime. Hence the matrix elements of the momentum operator in the position basis is given by, so the matrix elements of the momentum operator in position basis x prime, we finally obtain this result. This is equal to minus I h bar ddx of delta x minus x prime. This is in fact the starting point of our further analysis on position and momentum representation. Thanks for watching this video. If this is the first time you are visiting my channel, please don't forget to subscribe it and tap the bell icon to get notified for my new videos. Please comment below. Your thoughts and suggestions should be greatly appreciated.